This is Jason Stone, the millionaire mentor, guys.
Bravo Alvin from Black Concept Group, and this video is going to be about multi-time frame analysis for Gbpcad short entry that was obtained yesterday. And this trade is simply to help you guys understand how to critically analyze the market in a professional way as to how institutions would. Now, in this trade, I'm going to incorporate two trading methods. One is institutional trading, and the other one is the momentum trading. Okay, so I'm going to start from the monthly time frame and show you how this entry was obtained, and rather would you manage to get some free content that would help you throughout your trading journey. Now I'm going to start with the first chart of Gbpcad. So as we can start from the monthly time frame. Now bear with me, my internet isn't that active, so would kind of be slow in this video. Now, starting from the monthly time frame, you have to know that you have to start with market structure. Market structure simply is to help you know how you're going to manage or maneuver and survive in such a business. Okay, in any sort of business, you have to know and identify the kind of market structure that you want to operate in or simply operating in. Okay, market structure helps you to know the direction that you are supposed to take, the direction that your competitors won't be able to keep you down away from that industry. Okay, now market structure in this pair, you have to identify and understand that this pair is currently running on a consolidative state, meaning that there are only two reasons as to why a pair should be running on a consolidation. One of the reasons is to form a new trend. Okay, one of the reasons to form a new trend after break of that consolidation, or the other, form a new trend after the break of that consolidation, or the other is simply continuation of an ongoing trend. Okay, now already you have known the two reasons that would basically give you the way forward in this pair. Okay, you have already known that we could either have an ongoing downward movement or create a new trend of an upward movement. Now, going forward with the data that prices are given to us, we will have to know and identify where we would want to go. Okay, I've chose this pair due to the complication of price that has been shown around starting the higher time frame. Now we can see that in this consolidation we've had a series of lows. Okay, we can form highs, then lows, then we managed to break these highs, creating higher highs. Okay, then we come to form lows, sort of a lower high, then a lower low. Okay, after that, we came and stuck around the same lower high, meaning now we are still on this sort of downward movement. Now we are stuck on this area here. Okay, we're stuck on this area. Now we would have to study this area here, but we know already that we already have some sort of a same region of lower highs. Okay, now it is the same lower high because I had a question of why would you say that this is the same lower high when this week has actually managed to come and tap all the way towards this high levels, and it has surpassed this previous high. Now, for those who ask these questions, you have to understand that price would only be known as a breakout has occurred. A breakout would only occur, okay, when 75 over 75% of the body of a candlestick has surpassed the previous highs. Okay, when I say highs, that is the wick included. Now these were the previous highs that identified or marked as our highs for the previous lower high. Okay, now this is the one to determine if the next region is going to be broken or not. Now we can see that there was just a weak penetration, but the body was pulled down with the wave of bearish orders that entered into that market. Okay, now this simply tells you that this was a fake out, and then bears continued with this downward movement. Okay, but you should also know every data that is displayed by price actually carries a meaning. Okay, now we're not going to ignore this, and you're going to see how we're going to incorporate this in our future analysis as we go on to lower time frames. Okay, but simply this gives us some sort of signal that bulls are actually entering to this market. Okay, and this also correlates very well with us seeing that the prior yearly lows have been forming the same lower low. Okay, so that simply means that bullish orders are starting to enter into this market. Now this is a critical area for us to analyze. Okay, this is a very critical area for us to analyze and give equal consideration for both parties, that is the bulls and the bears. Okay, now on this monthly time frame, we get to notice and read this price action here. Okay, we get to read this price action. We see that bears entered into this price level, giving us that nice push to the downside. Bulls entered here. Okay, bears entered around here, then bulls came back in and entered around these price levels. Okay, now all this is data that is actually important to us. Okay, let's go into lower time frame so as you can understand what I simply mean by that. Now when we come on the weekly time frame, we see that we had that nice push to the upside, leaving us that nice weak rejection after bearish volumes entering into the market. We came all the way to this downside level, came to form highs, same lows. Okay, as you can see, that came to form same highs, almost same lows. Now we're coming back as a corrective move. Now you can see that these moves are characterized as an impulsive phase. When we look at this downside move, this has the characteristics of an impulsive phase. Okay, now we see that bullish orders entered around this price level, that are the ones that gave us that nice push to the upside. Our main focus here is to understand and see where we have to look at this market in a sentimental view and see where bullish or bearish orders are entering to the market. Okay, now studying this downward movement, we have to come into a conclusion and see where bearish orders actually entered into that market. Okay, now we see that after bearish orders entering here, we had that nice push of momentum with bears until bulls entered into this market with this candlestick. Very nice engulfing candlestick, signaling us that bulls are very strong in that market. But then now you have to ask yourself, how comes these bulls that managed to form a very huge engulfing candlestick, even managing to surpass the prior weekly highs, okay, coming to form the present weekly highs, how did they manage to get pushed back by bears that entered into this price level? So you have to know that the bears that entered here are actually very, very strong. Okay, these bears that entered here are actually very, very strong, and that is why you would have to consider the bearish orders that entered here and actually the ones that are entering here, giving us this as our momentum candlestick. So this is the level whereby we are going to consider it as our zone. Okay, now when we go into lower time frame, data is presented to us more, and that is when we're going to have this we're going to be more precise on our zone indication. Okay, I hope you understood what I meant here. So we consider this candlestick we considered this candlestick. Why? Because this is a momentum candlestick, because we see that bullish orders also entered again into this candlestick. But then after that, bulls did not have any sort of nerve of going any further in this candlestick, and that is why we see that bears entered here and correctly just went to the downside, okay, surpassing this bullish region here. Now this is going to be known as a momentum candlestick, and that is why our zone was indicated or drawn from the first bearish orders that entered into this price, into this market, until the area where momentum for bears was obtained into this market. Okay, so that is the level where we want to take our short trades in case this correction had continued to go on. Okay, and now we can see that we are actually on a verge of taking an entry into this pair. So our zone is drawn from those highs to this level. Now we're going back to the daily time frame, just trying to have that clear data in order for us to get a nice entry in this currency pair. Okay, so we see in this lower time frame, we're going to study more. Okay, now in this lower time frame, we get to study what kind of price action is happening here. We have to find the area where bulls were actually very strong. Okay, we have to find the area where bulls were actually very strong in order to identify the stronger bears that entered into that price level. Okay, now let us study this together. We see that price entered here, bearish orders entered into this market here. Price came down, forming this nice bearish action, but then bullish orders again entered into this market, okay, forming this nice bullish pin bar, and then bears again entered here into this market, giving us that nice push to the downside. So in clarity, that means we are going to consider this candlestick. One of the reasons is the normal reason of seeing a very nice opposite candlestick formed in a such prevailing trend, and the other reason is we see that bearish action orders had entered here again. Okay, now these bulls, sorry, let me clear this out for you to understand. Okay, we see that bears entered here, okay, forming this nice downward push. Bullish actions entered, which are not that much relevant to us. Now you have to consider that this was a very nice bullish area that had occurred here, very nice bullish action that had occurred here after bears are trying to enter into this market around these price levels. Okay, now this same data is the one that is going to be used. This same data is the one that is going to be used. Okay, we see that the bulls that entered around this price level, okay, had that nice push to the upside, and then bears entered here. Bearish orders entered here. Okay, after these bearish orders entering here, we see that price was pushed all the way to the downside with bearish volumes entering to the market. But then remember that we had this nice bullish barrier around this price level. Okay, we had this nice bullish barrier around this price level, where we get to see that bullish orders also entered here into this market. Okay, but then these bullish orders had finished here, and then bears continued with that nice downward movement. So this is called the momentum seeking candlestick, and this is where bearish orders actually enter into the market infinitely. Okay, now let us decrease our zone to the specified areas after studying price given that we have acquired more data just by going into a lower time frame. Okay, so our bearish orders that we have to consider, one is there and this region here. All right, now remember, now we're on the daily time frame. Okay, now this can be extended all the way to these levels. It has to mark and see how your liquidity areas have been achieved. Okay, now going into the 4-hour time frame, showing you how I obtained my short trade. We see that price came, tapped this price level, went down, tapped that price level, came down, but still went all the way up towards this, inside this zone that we had indicated. Now someone would ask me, how exactly did you manage to get such an entry? Whereby you see that my entry was actually on the tip of this price level. Okay, now this, I'm going to give you a very nice trick that is going to help you guys escape things known as stop hands. Okay, now what you ought to be studying now, okay, what you ought to be studying is the price action that is around this zone, the price action that is around this zone. Okay, we see that around this zone, we have this nice push for bears. Okay, managed to enter that zone. Bullish action was, moving around. Bullish action was falling around. Came all the way up to collect these bearish orders. Okay, with these liquidities of this candlestick, obviously. Bearish orders entered into this market, giving us that nice push to the downside. Now you see in this candlestick, we have nothing, we have no data to indicate to us where bearish orders would possibly get in. So my first probability is to get an entry when price taps here, but I still have to sorry. Excuse me. I still have to study all this kind of price action that has happened here. Okay, now for the psychology of Gbpcad, we see that this pair has a characteristic of leaving a lot of wicks. As you can see, the ones that are indicated here. Okay, the ones that are indicated here, this one here, this pair has a characteristics of leaving a lot of wicks. Now that is actually very good for a trader to identify and know the type of pairs that they are trading. Okay, and that is why you're told to trade a very minimal amount of pairs, so as you know their trade psychology. Now this is the region whereby I want to see price obviously tap here, and this is where I would want to get my first entry. And if this region is surpassed, then tap here, and my stop loss just a few pips above this price level. Okay, these liquidity areas. I hope that made sense. So I considered all the kind of data that is within. This zone. Okay, all the kind of data that is within this zone that is going to be important for me to actually get entries. Now you can see that there was a very nice volume of bearish orders entering from this candlestick to come and break out of this zone, and that is why I considered this candlestick here to be the region where I would get my first entry, and then the second entry around here in case price managed to surpass all the way to those price levels. Okay, now you have to know that trading is not 100% guaranteed, so you have to be on top of your game in terms of managing your trades and knowing scenarios that could possibly happen in that market. Okay, let's go and see where price actually tapped. So you can see this is the region where I said I want to get my first entry. Stops a few pips. So you can see this is not magic, but simply reading price the way you're supposed to read and trying to identify regions whereby volumes could possibly be of a huge importance to you, so as to get this kind of finite entries. Okay, now this is the level whereby I'm expecting to get another entry and see if this currency pair is actually going to go and tap my levels. But for now, I'm already risk free in this trade because we're in almost 50 pips now. We are already over 100 pips achieved in this currency pair just from getting this entry, which was obtained yesterday. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed and learned something from this analysis. And continue repeating these videos. They're going to help you. They're going to help you out in understanding price and reading price more in a more accurate way. Now, this trade was not called on my premium channel, but we have other trades that were called on the premium channel, such as Euro NZD, GBP AUD, which is actually now going very well, AUD CHF, which is actually also going very, very well, and Gbpcad is the one that I've been trading, and now I'm still looking and seeing if I could be able to get this entry here, collect these liquidities, and see if we're going to have that nice drop towards these levels before bullish orders enter into this market. I still see a lot of strength in GBP pairs, so it is crucial for you as a trader to use proper risk management in order to acquire and have a consistent and profitable journey in this industry. Have a blessed day, have a blessed week, and a productive trading journey. Joy and learned a thing or two. For those who are wondering of the free Telegram channel, I'll leave the link down below in the description. Help me share the video so as we can touch more lives. And remember, everyone deserves the taste of success. Okay, these are some of the entries that are obtained in our Telegram channel, and this is the free channel. I keep posting a lot of stuff in there. Okay, this is a free channel, so you can hop in there in the description, and I believe you learn a lot of things as you go on. Alright guys, share the video, subscribe, like, comment, and I'll be right here to read the comments. And also tell me what you guys would love for me to create, any sort of video, be it lifestyle or providing trading content that will help you in your journey.